We are running down the top toys of 2024 with special guest Mega J Retro right now on Toy Habits Live.
And before we go live, smash that like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a beat.
Hey everyone, happy Friday the 13th. Welcome back to Toy Habits. I'm Michael.
And I'm the Toy Sorceress, and you're watching Toy Habits Live. How's it going, Michael?
I'm good. I'm glad this day is over and we get to talk toys. How about you?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. The week is over and the year is almost over. And so we're going to talk about some fun things. And then we have a special guest that's going to join us in a little bit too. So we actually have a really fun show tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you feel like this year went by really, really fast?
Like zoomed by. It's kind of crazy that it's been like a year since I moved.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. More than a year. Now a year and a couple of months. It's insane.
That's crazy.
I know.
And I've seen your space, which is great.
You have twice already, which is amazing. I'm going to get to see your space soon too. So
yes. You surprised me with can we come up and visit?
Sure. Well, we've been talking about it, for so long, and I'm like, well, I have some time off, and we wanted to make some time to come up and see you guys. So.
I love it. No, I'm so excited about that.
So am I. Well, the chat is hopping because we were prepping for our show, so we started a few minutes late. So we got a lot of people in the chat. Why don't we go ahead and say hi to everybody on this lovely December fun evening? And it is cold and chilly out, and I got my warm mocha here to keep me warm. You got yours?
Not in the fancy Starbucks cup. But.
No, but mine's actually gotten cold now. This little cozy doesn't do anything. Okay, we got Dolarexian in the house. We got crew member Joe Coleman. It's Toy Habits time, everybody. I'm saying it for Joe. We also got Pedro in the house. We had Pedro on last week. That was so much fun. Great hanging out with you, Pedro. We got Parmazotti here. We have Sienna joining us. Lisa's here. Valeska is also joining us. Stefan, Delano, Jolty. That's just all these amazing European viewers now are challenging me with your names, and I don't want to butcher them, so I apologize. Ari is also here again, saying hello to Joe Coleman. Look at that. Is that Italian, Joe? That is very impressive. We also got Right Hand of Skeletor joining us. We got crew member Robert Alessandrini here. We got crew member, the one and only Rob 2023 is here. Crew member Mint with Card is joining us. Crew member Carnage 17 is also here. We got King Panther in the house. We got Lord Hoagie also in the house. We have Von Ratcliffe in the house. Also, crew member Eric Perryman is joining us. We got Alexander Storm here and Todd C. And as more people jump in and join, we'll say hi to you in a little bit. And we also have a very special guest that's going to join us shortly. In the meantime, let's go ahead and check in with our long growing list of crew members, and then we'll talk about some news before we get to our top 5.
Sounds good. Hello, crew, and thank you for being live with us tonight and each and every week. We enjoy all the time this part of the week, and thank you so much for the support, and we love all of you, and we can't wait to talk the toys of 2024, because 2024 was a pretty huge year.
It was a huge year and a lot of amazing toys and big play sets and crazy HasLabs and just like curveballs and all these new lines and toys. So
oh my gosh, that's right.
So much happened. Maybe that's what we'll have to talk about next week, is like kind of wrapping up all this incredible news that we got for 2024.
Yeah,
that might be a good topic.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. Very cool. So why don't we go ahead and jump in and just take a look at the news real quick before we get to our top 5 and see what all happened this week.
Yeah, sounds good. Let me me cue that up really quickly. Sorry, I just did the wrong
That's
screen
great.
share for this one.
Oh, you're good. And we will have our special guest, Mega J Retro, joining us in just a little bit. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
It will. All right.
So and while you do that, I have like so many things that came this week. I've got a mystery box here from Entertainment Earth. I don't even know what's inside it. And I got some Street Fighter figures. I got my O-ring Ghostbusters. We'll take a look at that stuff later. Even some Secret Wars.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Lots of stuff came in. And I've got a big mess on my floor because I haven't opened any of it. Oh,
right,
man.
Let's see if this works. Oh, yeah, here we go.
There
Okay,
you
got it. There we go.
So today, Wave 6 package reveal happened. We got an awesome video from Roy Juarez, our friend over there from Mattel, and he basically put out a video of 360 degrees of each of Wave 6 packages, including the card back art. So we've seen the package fronts already that we revealed and found the images for, but now we get to see the card backs. And if you scroll further down for each character, I do have a enlarged view
Oh, perfect.
of the artwork.
Awesome.
And you know what I noticed, Michael, on these? Yeah. So here's Michelangelo. All the figures, all the characters that are illustrated in these pieces of art, there's nothing new. They're all characters we've already seen. So this has like, it's newer stuff. So it's like Super Shredder and like, King Hiss and the foot soldiers, but there's no new characters. And when you get down to Leo, you're going to see like every single Turtles of Grayskull character.
Like kitchen sink.
All in the big melee scene. And I was like looking through it, and I think I looked carefully enough, but I don't think there was any new figure teases in them.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess with the reveal at Comic-Con that they're working on a new crossover.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the end of the Turtles line and that's it.
Maybe, but I think it's had a great run. I'm a little bummed we didn't get like an individual Bebop and Rocksteady because I know that was teased a couple times. And that's not to say we won't, but typically on these card backs we see something new, and we didn't. So this is this big scene.
Oh my gosh, this is like the kitchen sink scene.
Mm-hmm.
This is like everything. The Eternia like clash right here. This is so cool.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome. So you got Castle Grayskull on one side with all the heroic warriors, Snake Mountain on the other with all the evil warriors. They're all going at it. You've got all of the deluxe figures are included in there, like all the newest ones, all of the regular characters and their different. I think maybe like the variants. Might not be there, both Turtles or whatever, but basically all the figures are all represented on this card back.
Super cool. Wow.
It is.
That's really neat. Yeah, I haven't really gotten a chance to check these out, so I'm just like looking at these for the first time. I love Splinter is just like over everything.
Yeah, and then Nunyabiz asked a really good question. Where's the slime pit? They were showing the ooze pit. I'm going to call it the ooze pit so many times on multiple card backs. And then all of a sudden it's like gone. Like we haven't seen it for a couple waves.
And that's such a no-brainer because they could do this for the Turtles and they could do this for Motu. It's a small play set. It's super easy to do. And I'm sure it would sell out. It's like, what are they thinking? It's like a total missed opportunity.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And it's so easy to switch over because all they got to do is mold a different head, and then the rest of it can be like the same playset.
Yeah, totally. Jason says, "I'm still hoping there's going to be another 2 waves." Geez, yeah. I mean, who knows if they're going to do the Turtles line in combination with the Thundercats line. They'd have how many? They'd have what 4 or 5 lines going. They have Masterverse, Origins on Mattel Creations, Cartoon Collection, Turtles, and Thundercats. So they would have 5. Wow.
Speaking of Thundercats, I've got a couple of those little 5.5ers in my hand. I haven't opened Lion yet because I have more coming and I wanted to keep one on card. But and we did a review on these. So the next thing we'll look at in hand. Here's Mumra, and he's got a cloth goods cape right here, and then here's Jackalman. It's pretty cool. I left Lionel on the floor, but he's not open yet. And check out the review we did on our site. Big shout out and thank you to the Baroness of Toys who opened all 3 of hers, because I've got, like I said, one more Lionel coming. This one has some paint rub issues, and then so I didn't want to open that one, so she took photos of it for me. So big thanks to her. Yeah, and they're great. The only complaint I would say is they're a little bit harder plastic, so I had to heat up the hand with a hairdryer for like 30 seconds to get the accessory in there, and then they're fine. So if you like these, they're a cool pickup, and they're very cartoony looking. And we got a special guest in the house.
Oh, he is here.
He is here. So if you want, we can dive into this, or we'll say hello and introduce our amazing special guest with us tonight, who is a huge friend of the channel. So incredible to the toy community, such heart, such soul, working on an incredible project with a couple of our friends. And you guys all know and love him. And it is the one and only Mega J Retro. How is it going, Mega J? I think you're muted.
Uh-oh. We're having audio issues. Doesn't look like you're muted, though.
Okay. Maybe your mic is.
Sorry, oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
I was like, you're gonna have to mime to
Who
us?
are you talking about? I don't think you were talking about some. You were talking about somebody else.
That was you, my friend.
We were talking about somebody completely different. 100%. How's it going, everybody?
Good.
I'm good. You know, arrived finally at my relatives, and I was running late, so I apologize.
Okay.
They allowed me to just quick highs and it's like, can I just borrow the basement for a second? They're like yeah, go. So they've been so generous. But yeah, I had to come and talk about the top 5 and just hang out with you guys.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right? How's the holidays been, guys? Everything good?
Yeah, everything been quiet. I'm going to be hosting my family for Hanukkah at the end of the month, so that'll be a lot of fun and get to cook a bunch of stuff, and then going to go visit Michael next weekend right before the holidays, so that'll be fun.
I know. She sent me a text and she's like, I think we're going to be coming up north, and I was like, sweet. Tear this mofo up.
Yeah. So we're gonna go visit his fam and then go do some toy hunting and have some fun. We've been meaning to try and get up north for a while to go visit and hang out.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's like I'm up north now, and last night we thought they were going to get they thought they were going to get 40 centimeters, but they only got 20 centimeters, so it wasn't nearly as bad, and the sun came out, so everything kind of it wasn't such a bad drive, but it was a bit hectic getting up here, so that was the only thing, but we made it. So
where is up north?
That's awesome.
So basically I live in a city called Markham, and this is a place called Wasaga Beach, and it's by the beach, by the lake, and it's a really nice place, but again, it's a little bit off the beaten path, so it takes a while to get up here. So.
Nice. And there's snow, that's so
There's
cool.
a lot of snow. They were expecting 40 centimeters, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a lot of snow.
We'd have to do the math because we're used to inches and feet.
So 40 centimeters, 15 inches.
We should just learn the metric system.
It's 15 and 3/4 inches.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's a lot of snow.
That is a lot of snow. That is up to your that's like up to your thighs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's pretty high.
That's a lot of snow.
Luckily they only got hit with 20 centimeters, and the plows came and the salters came. So again, Canada. So.
Like if we had snow here, we wouldn't know what to do with
California, right? California. Do you guys ever get snow?
No, I mean very rarely. Like we'll get like once in a rare while. If it's anything, it's like either an extremely light dusting, which is more of like melting ice if it rains. For us, at least where I live in Southern California, we don't get like snow.
I wouldn't expect.
No, we
I
don't get
think
snow
once it
either.
like barely snowed and it like dusted like the grass like a little bit, like you can see white stuff, and we all freaked out.
Lake Tahoe gets a lot of snow,
Oh.
and that's like 3.5 hours away from us. And so we actually we went up to see our son in Reno, and so we passed by all of the like snowy
Wow.
mountains. It was so beautiful just driving through the Tahoe
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's
And
so
I have
weird.
Big Bear like 2 hours from me, and so they got a lot of snow too.
Yeah,
Um,
actually, Joe Coleman just mentioned that Big Bear gets a lot of snow. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. I've been to both when it snowed, Tahoe and Big Bear. It's beautiful, but like it's like a novelty for us, right? Like we don't get that. It's like something extremely special.
Yeah,
Once
it was
every
like
few
it was like
years, like, to
60
see.
today where I live, which
Yeah.
is not cold at all.
Yeah, same here. It's balmy out. The only snow I have is the artificial snowman on my front lawn.
That's funny.
But we're so happy you're here, Jay. And
Yeah.
because it's December and the end of the year, we thought it would be fun to do a countdown of our top 5 favorite toys, and they could be anything that we acquired in
Oh.
2024. So that's the rule. It doesn't have to be new. It could be vintage, but it's something that had to come out in 2024. And that's the ground rules we set.
Yeah. Yeah, we decided to do something a little bit different than just a straight 2024 because I got really nostalgic this year. And
Yeah.
so it's like,
So did I. So it made it harder, right?
yes. Yeah. I was like, I don't think I'm going to buy that new thing that came out in 2024. I want to buy this 26-year-old thing that came out so long ago.
Exactly.
Makes me
I
happy.
did quite a bit of that myself too.
Yeah.
So without further ado, y'all, we are going to count down our top 5, and we'll start from number 5 and work our way down, and we'll just alternate one
Go
from
right.
each of us. All three.
Sounds good.
All right,
All
let's
right.
let's dig in.
Do it. Let's start with Toy Sorceress's number
Yes.
5.
So my number 5, and I got him here on my hand, is the Super 7 Jaga LJN toy variant. And I was so excited when Super 7 announced this guy. I do have the vintage Jaga, which you can see in that photograph standing next to the box of the Super 7 Jaga. So I absolutely love this one. I was like, you guys, were we live when we were talking about like the announcement of these, I think on a show one time, and I like freaked out. I was so excited, as you can tell. And so I love this version of Jaga. He turned out great. The only little caveat I would say is his skin tone's a little light compared to the vintage figure, but that's okay because he needs to look a little different. But he's got a super bright cape, and they did an incredible job on this one. So gotta say, I love this version of Super 7 toy variant Jaga. So that's my number 5 pick.
Yeah, I like that
All
one
right.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
they did a great job, especially
Yeah.
with the Borat type swimsuit on him, which is cool.
Yeah, that looks really good, and I
Yeah.
love the wired cape on him, and he has like a nice bright outfit and everything. So, do either of you guys have this figure?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I actually I got him not too long ago because
Really?
I was like, I already have a Jaga. Like, do I need another one? And then like I saw the toy one, I was like, oh god damn it.
It's so cool.
That's cool.
I know. Jay, do you have this figure? Being a big Thundercats fan. Oh, you're muted.
Here, let's
unmute you.
there we go. Sorry.
there we go.
Yeah. No, I did not get the Toyetic version. So I kind of made a conscious decision not to collect the toy versions, which I'm regretting. I'm regretting it because they sold out so quickly. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was in my head. I was like, not there are going to be tons of them out there.
Yeah.
Super 7 is limiting their supply now. So now I'm regretting not picking up Toy Lion-O, any of the versions that have come out, like Toy Chitara, I'm really regretting it now. And now because it's so far into the line, I'm like, all right, maybe when somebody starts clearing out their collection, I'll go and
Yeah.
But for
Maybe
now,
I'll be me, Jay.
The toy variants look so good together. And by the way, we forgot to mention, everybody in the chat, if you want to count down your top 5, we'll circle back to your comments.
Yeah.
Because we want to see what your top 5 is as well. Yeah, Jay, like I put these all together, and they just look so incredible. Now having all the Super 7 toy variant versions, so
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like they look so good. So I was like, oh my gosh! Now that I see them in person and I see everything coming together, now I'm like, oh, I screwed this up. I seriously screwed this up.
Should have been backwards, reversed it.
I should have really just said, bite the bullet. Get them, because again, huge Thundercats fan. So for me, I was literally like, okay, I know what I'm doing, and of course, I don't know what I'm doing. So,
and here's the other thing: like if the vintage one's really hard to get, and it's super expensive on the aftermarket. I was lucky enough to acquire one. I looked for a very long time, and I like pounced on a deal a few years ago. But he's really hard to get. So if you're not able to get that vintage version, this is your second close best thing. It's like, this makes up for it, right? So it's much cheaper to buy this than buying a vintage Jaga, and it makes you feel just as good.
Exactly. But again, I was thinking in my head that this is gonna be easy to get, blah blah blah. And let me sit on this for a while. And of course, that's not what you do in 2024. That's on any. You just gotta go with the flow, as they say. So yeah. Bit of a miss there. So
yeah, go with flow, empty your wallet.
I gotta read Rob 2023's comment. So it looks like his mom asked, "Who's the guy with the white beard?" I was like, "That's Mega J." She's like, "No, the one on the figure."
Oh, Dorothy, you have us in stitches all the time.
Dorothy is hilarious. Anyway, say hi to Mom. Say hi to Dorothy for us from 2023. That was too funny. All right, so Michael, let's take a look at your number 5 pick.
All right, my number 5 came from the G.I. Joe Classified series line, and it was the HMS. I love that they are doing small form factor vehicles. I love that this was a Sears exclusive that not a lot of people got when they were younger. It's super expensive on the aftermarket, and I thought they did a really, really great job and made it affordable. And it's got a tow hitch, or it's got a tow part to it, so you could hook it onto the Hiss, because they were making such a big deal about that Hiss having a tow cable. I was like, or a tow hitch, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna make like the HMS a secret unlock for the Hiss. No, it never happened. But
and it's funny because it was a retail release, but if you didn't buy the Hiss tank, then it's like, I mean, I guess it's okay as a standalone vehicle as well, because it doesn't take up too much room. So
no, it's great. I'm not as great as a toy photographer as you and Hasbro, and so I'm like, I'm just gonna use their stock photography.
Oh, that's totally fine.
But yeah,
That's
I really want them to continue these small form factor vehicles, because I think that's what a lot of the G.I. Joe line was built on, was the vehicles. Yes, we have the super large vehicles that we will never see in the Classified series, but we have a ton of little like vehicles. There's the bivouac and all of these little places they could do.
Yeah, some of the vehicles and some of those little kind of like Dio play sets. You had like Checkpoint Alpha, and then the other kind of exactly what you're talking about, like the little scenes that make it so cool. It's sort of kind of like the porta potty that's coming out soon.
I was just about to say, I was like, I think I'm ready to cancel all the.
I can't even remember, and I ordered 2 for you extra too.
I know.
I can't remember what the hell the porta potty was called, but that's all I think
I'm going to cancel them all, because I was like, I don't need 8 porta potties. Like, they're good. Cobra can go to the bathroom in the wild.
You got so excited, I guess, when it came out, and then
I know. I
was waiting on you, so.
I think because the Cobra bunker was like, that was one of my favorite little play sets, and that reminded me of it. And then once I started looking at it closer, I was like, this really isn't. It's really not the Cobra bunker.
Do you have this one, Jay?
I think I got it. So at this time of year, like a lot of us, I just before the Canada postal strike. So if anybody doesn't know, there's actually a postal strike going on here.
Oh yeah.
Oh
so
no.
We're not getting anything.
During the holiday?
I saw the note from the from our post office. I was like, good Lord.
It's a crazy way, I think, to force the hand of the government to give them what they want, right?
Yeah.
I'm not on anybody's side, but at the end of the day, nobody's getting their packages right now. So it's actually pretty crazy.
I'm so sorry.
That's a
bummer.
you know,
Maybe it's the holidays and you want to send stuff to family or vice versa, or you're
yeah, no,
ordering gifts,
we're,
all that
we're,
kind of stuff is like,
we are at the behest of the you know, we're the rope and everyone's just tugging on us, right? So that's what happens, right? I'm pretty sure I have this, and it's probably buried somewhere, right? So basically, you know, it's one of these things. When it was announced, I got really really excited, because again, it was what was going to be attached to the his tank. We figured that out pretty quickly, and it's really got a cool, like, we have 600, 700 Vipers now, but I mean, this guy was pretty cool. You know, the Triple Viper
we're
was.
getting more. Now we're getting a retro Viper. Like,
I know,
oh,
right?
okay, now we're getting the actual real design.
I'm waiting for a real snake now. Like we need an actual Viper now,
Yeah.
but it really is a really cool, you know, it's not even a vehicle really. It's just you know, you just tow it along with something. But
Yeah.
it's wonderful ordnance. You know what I mean? And the Joes should be shaking in their boots, because you know, it's
Absolutely.
a great.
I mean, look at those
Yeah.
big red missiles. Like,
Yeah,
anyone would be
the
scared.
Joes will be shaking in their boots until they finally make the MMS. And like I was so sure that the MMS was going to follow like every other repaint vehicle that they do. It's like they release the Trouble Bubble and then immediately release the Python Patrol version of it. I was like, where the heck is the MMS?
Oh man.
Great stuff. Great
Which
stuff.
I'm not complaining, because we need some
Or no.
space between repaints.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not complaining, but all right. Let's take a look at Jay's number 5, and this is a good one.
We're not that I'm complaining, but we're not doing any honorable mentions, or I guess we'll do that before.
Yeah, could you do a refresh? Sorry, I had that.
No, it's okay. We can do that before number 1. How's that?
No, I'm asking Michael if he could just refresh his page. That should say number 5. That was a typo.
Oh, oops. Hold
There you
on.
go.
Sorry.
My bad.
It's all good.
Everybody got a sneak peek.
Sorry.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay, there it is. I was literally putting this together right before we jumped on.
That's okay, and it's probably it is my fault, because it was the last minute.
I was out getting coffee when you sent me the photos, and I was like, I gotta get home.
So this was definitely my number 5. Man, this was awesome.
Yes.
I've always wanted a Cringer, because I'm a fan of the cartoon and I love Filmation. And you know, as a kid, you take off the armor.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like Cringer, but it's not Cringer. You know, it's this freaking ferocious cat, right? So you're like, you know, and he's too big. He was too freaking big.
It was for the Big Jim line, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I was really excited when the line was announced. I was really excited for Origins Battle Cat.
Yeah.
And then my heart sank, because the articulation on it was just absolutely horrid.
Oh my god, with the like one piece like feet that you couldn't.
Yeah, one piece.
He sat like that when
And
you know, with
I
the,
was
like
like,
his toes up.
It's supposed to be the line that has articulation. And what are you guys doing? You know what I mean? Like, I was like, that was a cheap out on that one. And my heart sank. And I was like, all right, whatever. I guess we're gonna have one pose. Like, you might as well have just done the one pose thing at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Aesthetically, it probably would have been better. But instead, we got whatever. And now with this, oh my god, just the level of articulation, the amazing, the whole nature of this, right? And the scaredy face. I mean, the scaredy face is just everything you want.
It's
right?
amazing. I love, the articulated jaw is incredible. So his jaw's articulated. If you don't have this figure, it's amazing. And then they added extra articulation on his hind legs, so he can do moves like that. So he's got an extra joint in there, so he can jump up onto He-Man and Prince Adam. This is great. Do you think that they're going to make a Cartoon Collection Cringer?
They need the Cartoon Collection Battle Cat, and this is the blueprint for it. You just scale them up, put a mask on, and put swappable heads, and you're good to go. Right? No brainer, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So that's I'm so glad that this guy came out. Seriously.
I remember when we saw I think we saw leaked images of it right before they announced it, and we all lost our shit.
Yeah. It was just an absolute a crazy moment, right? That Cringer is going to be a real thing in the Master Universe. Just awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love this figure. I love this pack. They did an amazing job, and I actually have mine posted on the shelf pretty much like that, because it's like the two best friends, and how did it take this long to get this? Even the one we got for Motu Classes, it was just like a little statue of Cringer.
Yeah,
and
literally.
It's expensive as hell. That little non-posable, figure of him.
So good. Just
Timbo.
so freaking
Timbo
amazing.
from Limbo, a friend said, "I love how his only expressions are concerned and terrified." That's pretty much how he was in the cartoon.
Yep, always a little afraid
Yeah.
until he smelled some chicken or something like that. That's
Yeah.
when he took over.
This was a really great pick.
Yeah.
Absolutely love this one. And Michael, of course, you have this figure.
I do, yeah. It's currently it's a huge shelf warmer at Target, but the figure is really cool. I think they're killing it with the cartoon collection, and this pack was so needed in the Motu line for so many reasons.
I'm waiting for them to clearance it out so I can get like 2 or 3 because it's such a great figure set. Honestly, the articulation's there. Even Prince Adam, he's got these awesome expressions. And if you missed He-Man, which mine got lost in the mail. Thank you, Canada Post. And I can buy 2 fakers, and I can grab one of these heads and just use that as He-Man, right? So it's another chance of getting another He-Man. So for me, that's a win-win.
That is a great idea. All right, so we're gonna move on to number 4, and my number 4, I slightly cheated and I picked a category.
Oh my god!
So
that is a crazy cheat.
My number 4 is a category of a genre of my vintage pickups from one vendor from San Diego Comic-Con. A big shout out to Mark Huckabone, which is friends with Jordan Hembrow, often seen on old episodes of Toy Hunter on the Travel Channel. I was lucky enough to go ahead and buy quite a bit of things in the 5 days we spent in San Diego. So for me, this was like one thing, like one big pickup, because it was an amazing memory. We got to hang out, actually, all 3 of us in San Diego when I got these. But I did pick up those 2 boxed vintage Sesame Street plush dolls that you see there, and there's a photo right after I got them. And then the set next to that is the Playskool or Fisher Price vintage Sesame Street playset. And so right before I bought this, I think the night before, Michael was like, "Oh, what's one thing if you could find, with the vintage toys that you've probably been looking for a long time?" And I said, I used to have this like vintage Sesame Street playset I had when I was a kid, and I remember playing with it outside. I was with my sister. I was really young, maybe 4 or 5 years old at the most. And I found like a spider in it because we were playing like in the backyard or the garage. And since I was such a little kid, I was so freaked out. I like ran away, and I don't know what happened to the playset after that. Like it was gone because I was a little kid. I don't know if my parents threw it away, but it was always a memory I had, and I missed it so much because I loved playing with that. And I was able to track one down from Mark, which was incredible. And that's when I met him, because I was trying to ask, how much the playset was. So I do have that on display. And then in the following 2 days at San Diego Comic-Con, I was able to pick up these minty carded Mego Ponch and John figures from Chips, which was awesome. And also these carded Evel Knievel adventure sets from Mark. So to me, this was like a very cool experience that I had. Made some friends, got to meet some people. So for me, like, these picks are not just like how cool the toy is, but what did it mean to me when I got them? And this was a very memorable experience, especially hanging out with you guys for the weekend up there, or down there in San Diego. So that is why I kind of globbed this number 4 pick together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like hearing you recall that story, like being with you when you found this stuff, like you can see all the joy and excitement it's bringing you now. Like think about like when you were at Comic-Con finding this stuff, like that was priceless for me. I was like Comic-Con was great, but like seeing you like in your element and like finding like joy, all the joy that this stuff brings you was so much fun.
In the moment that I did find that Fisher Price playset, like I poked into this booth and I was like asking some guy, "How much is this?" And he peeks over and he yells up at some dude on a ladder, and he's like, "Oh, how much is the Fisher Price Sesame Street set?" And the man turns around and it was none other than Mark. And I'm like, "I know you." I'm like, you were on Toy Hunter. He's like, "Yeah, it is." And then he became my buddy all weekend. So awesome. It was just such a cool moment, like when I found that set. So that's why it meant a lot to me.
That's great.
My number 4. All right, let's check out your.
That's what it's all. It's all about. It's all about the good memories. That's what. That's
Yeah.
what. Toys are all about good memories. That's what
Yeah.
they're all about.
Yeah.
So this is like one big nostalgia trip for me.
Yeah. I think that's why my list is very short on the stuff that came out in 2024 and very big on the nostalgia stuff.
Yeah.
For this year.
Exactly.
But yeah, I love that story. This is all great stuff. I mean, your collection is so it's so like wide and deep. It's awesome.
I appreciate it. I mean, I think all our toy collections are just, what brings you joy, what speaks to you individually, and and we all choose to display it differently. And there's a story behind every piece that we get, right? And especially when it comes to special pieces and vintage pieces, because it takes that much more work to get it. It's not like you're just pre-ordering it on whatever toy retailer. Like, it takes heart and soul and time and energy and doing research and all those kind of things, and hunting. Sometimes you go out toy hunting for things and you finally hit pay dirt, and that's what the experiences are special. So.
Yes, totally. Yeah, Mint with Card, I think, sums it up pretty well. There's nothing better than finding a vintage toy in the wild to bring back all that nostalgia. Love that.
Absolutely. That's why each of these pieces are like super, super special to me. And actually, when I was a little kid, got to meet Ponch and John, because they used to film Chips in Southern California, in the LA area. And I think they were filming an episode like near my old house when I was a kid. And so they were at the CHP station that was a few blocks away, and I got to take a picture of them. So that show also meant a lot to me, and so I hold it near and dear to my heart.
That's awesome. Yeah. So cool. My number 4 is the complete opposite of.
Yep.
So I'm expecting to get this year, but so I included it. The HasLab, the vintage collection HasLab Ghost. I want them to continue just making massive Star Wars vehicles. Like, I know we don't cover a ton of Star Wars content, but Star Wars Rebels was one of like my favorite animated series to watch, and I still watch it and rewatch it to this day. And I just think that they do a fantastic job with these HasLab. Yeah. Like, the Razor Crest was amazing. I'm expecting this to be, I mean, it's going to be massive. It's like 3 feet wide. So massive aside, I love, like, I think one of my problems with the, like, I know it's a problem with scaling figures. Like, you can only make scaling vehicles and figures, you can only make them so big. And so I want them to, like, this is kind of a dream come true with me, like literally like scaling a 3 3/4 inch figure to like how big a vehicle should be. And so
it's incredible that we're able to do that. I mean, to me, like, I don't mind when the play set or the vehicle's a little bit underscaled, because you don't want it to take up a ton of space, and then that leaves you more real estate for more toys. But it's cool when it's in its element, because then you can create like a little Dio shot or do some incredible photography for it. Is this something you picked up, Jay?
I was so torn. So torn on this. I love Rebels. I think Rebels, as a show,
so well done.
It was so well done. You know what I mean? And I really wanted to get them, but I was so torn. I was like, do I get the Cat Slayer or do I get this? And I'm sorry, Cat Slayer won. You know what I mean? Like that. There are only so many big purchases that we can make at a given time, right? And I love Star Wars. I really do, and I love so I really love what Rebels represented back then, and I really wanted to, but I just couldn't. I was like, no, I need to. If I'm gonna try and get anything, it's gonna be the Cat Slayer, and even that did not come easily. I mean, like, I needed a lot of help with that, right? So yeah, it was a real nail biter, right? So no, unfortunately, I did not get the Ghost, and congratulations to everybody, Michael. It's a beautiful piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was supposed to skip out on the Cat Slayer until I joined your live stream, like on the last day, and like backed it on the last day. I was like, no, I was not supposed to do that.
I take no responsibility for any of that.
No, I mean my actions are all my own, but I'm really looking forward to this. I have a space carved out for it too.
Nice.
On the top of my bookshelf, because that's the only that's the only way that these things are going to fit.
It is absolutely gorgeous. Though.
It is gorgeous, and I mean, just all the detail and the incredible amount of figures it comes with, and this one's a really really fun piece. And then Jay, so I was putting these slides together just before the show, and so I wasn't sure which version of your number 4 this is, but you can fill in the gaps. I knew this.
Yep.
I'll let you take over.
Yeah. So it's not a Transformers crossover. It's actually the Heat Boys Michelangelo, which it's more of a Gundam style. Yeah, it's more of a Gundam style mecha, and I got to mess around with this, courtesy of our good friends over at TitanToys.com, and
Titan Toys.
It is exactly Titan Toys. It is a huge a robot. It's just absolutely massive. But the articulation, the way the knees fold over, it really is an absolute masterpiece in terms of its overall execution. And with this one in particular, it actually has battery powered Gatling guns. So you put in the batteries, you touch it with a magnet, and then the guns start rotating. Right? It has so many different accessories, and it's just for a company that really, for the most part, came out of nowhere. It is absolutely bonkers. And you know what? They did it so well. I think it's about 30% diecast. So it is one.
Wow.
It's probably super heavy, right?
Oh, yeah. It's heavy. It is heavy. It's the entire inner frame is all diecast.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
It is.
Yeah, that's really a ton.
Who does diecast nowadays? I guess apparently these people.
Apparently,
but
apparently
really rare.
And it is pricey, though. They are not cheap. I mean, I think they were a little closer to if it wasn't 200 Canadian, it was close to that. So it's not a cheap toy at all, right?
Wow.
But well worth it in my opinion. Very, very much well worth it.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I think Raphael was released shortly, or just a few months ago, and Donatello is hugely anticipated right now.
That's awesome.
Good.
Good.
This is my favorite saying that you say, Jay. Tell him Jay sent you. I love when people reference that. Just went to Titan Toys and gave him a like. You also need to give him a follow too and tell him Jay sent you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also a huge shout out to Danny Green, who is under the weather and couldn't be on here. I was all excited to hear his voice, but you know, another time.
Danny works 3 jobs.
Oh my God!
Yeah, he's a workhorse. The man he's a beast. He's a beast. He works hard all day. And I don't know if you guys knew this. I don't know if he told you, but he literally came off of a really bad bout of we don't know what it is. I think it was just a massive flu. And he was bedridden. He was bedridden for 3 days, and did not actually recover for 5 days. So yeah, you know what? Again, he's a trooper, and he just wanted to, this week. He was so excited about tonight, but you know it was a rough day for him, and you know he needs to recover. I don't want him to get sick again. So
no. He needs to recover. I'm just gonna give a little tribute to Danny. Hold on. Is it playing?
Toys. Oh, there we go.
There it is. Danny Green.
He lives on. Oh.
Titan Toys.
I'm telling you right now. Danny's this guy. When you meet him, he's like so exuberant. He's like exciting. Yeah. But it's crazy when he gets on camera. He starts to clam up. You know, and he's got that self awareness. But once he gets over that, he's gonna take over YouTube. I mean, the guy. If you guys have not met Danny, I'm trying my best. I really am. And you know what? This new project I'm working with him, he's coming around. So I'll make it happen. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll circle back to that at the end of the show. You can tell us about your new channel. Yeah. It's going to be very cool. Awesome. Well, this is a very cool pick. Let's jump down to number 3. So this is absolutely something that recently got released, and a lot of us just received ours. But it's a 2024 G.I. Joe Classified HasLab Dragonfly with Wild Bill, and of course all of the other incredible figures that came with it. They hit this one out of the park. I just acquired the vintage Dragonfly several months ago, thanks to Michael, who tracked one down for me, and I've been looking for one for a long time. But this HasLab one is so amazing. I mean, the way that the cockpit lights up with all the little controls on there, you know, all the details that come with it, the different little missiles that like connect, and I love the little winch. You can have crazy legs hanging on there. Wild Bill looks incredible. All the figures look amazing. This was just such a great HasLab, and even though it measures 3 feet, it's not super like girthy, I guess you can say. So it wasn't that difficult for me to find a place on the top shelf to display it. So I'm glad it didn't like overwhelm my space. And it was like a good compromise in terms of a large HasLab vehicle, but just kicked it out of the park all day long. Like amazing Hasbro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
Hasbro's been killing it on with GI Joe. I think it definitely is the toy line that they're not going to get in trouble for. But I think that it has such a wide-reaching fan base now, and a lot of people are just getting back into GI Joe. So this one, when it was announced, I think that a lot of people, like, you know, we were covering it for weeks, months leading up to it, and it was pretty much a foregone conclusion. You know, his tank. What fights the his tank? Well, it's got to be a Dragonfly, right? So yeah, very, very excited, and congratulations to everybody who picked those up. I have been hearing some inklings that, you know, it stresses out a little bit here and there, but just, you know, don't be rough with your toys, man. Like calm down. Just relax.
They're like so excited about it, so they have to just like go out and play. But this one has so much great play value, right? You know, you got the rotating blades on there, the winch, all the light up canopy, you know, cockpit, the multiple windows that open up on the canopy. There's just so much fun to be had with this helicopter that you know, I could imagine people having all sorts of fun with this thing.
Yeah, your photography is amazing too. Like just seeing, so I have this. It's still in the box if you can believe it. But you probably can't because you're like, I have to open this thing. But no, I will open this eventually. But yeah, this one they really did an amazing job. Yeah, the wench is great. Just FYI, my nickname around the house sometimes is Lusty Wench. So, you know, when you said that, I was like, oh, that sounds familiar. So my daughter read that in a book, and she just called me Lusty Wench one day.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
That is so cute.
It's so cute. It's so cute.
Yeah, mine's in the box too. Unfortunately, the space is just a premium right now, so I got to figure it out. I'm rearranging my toy room right now, so you'll see something new, you know, the next year. So that'll be fun.
I did have to like rearrange to make this fit, but you know, I had some like boxes and kind of consolidated some of those 12-inch figures at the top of my shelf. But again, it wasn't too hard to make it fit because it fit within the, you know, the 11-inch depth of my my Billy bookcase, so that was great. And the nice thing about this Dragonfly is it goes with so many of the GI Joe characters that not only the ones that came with it, but you can put in there. You got Airborne for the co-pilot. You know, Doc looks really cool posed next to there. You have you know, Starduster, like all these cool figures that like look great next to the Dragonfly. So you can build out this whole scene just because, you know, it's such a classic and iconic vehicle for the line that so many of the action figures that are already out look really cool posed next to it. So
yeah, I love looking at your stuff because then I get ideas on how to pose mine. It's like I would never think of like sticking Wild Bill on the like door that comes out. I was like, I just noticed that. I was like,
and he's got his 6-shooters, like he's like I have him posed before with his hat like this too, which is pretty cute. Yeah. So this is a very cool one. A big shout out really quick to Jedi Ben, who is now a YouTube member, and congratulations and welcome to the crew. I'm not sure if I thought Jedi Ben might have been a member before, maybe he like upgraded or renewed, but anyway, in either case, we love having you on the crew and welcome yet again. So that's awesome.
yes.
Yeah, so this was a really cool pick. It's one of my modern picks. There's not going to be a lot on my list,
No.
but you know, I interspersed them here or there.
Nice.
So without further ado,
I think I might be done. I might be done with my modern picks. So
Not
my-
really. You do have more, but I'm not
Oh.
going to spoil it.
Oh, you're
I
right.
know
You're
which
right.
one the rest
Well,
of your list.
modern-ish.
Yes.
Yes, modern-ish.
But a lot of this is nostalgic throwback anyway, even if it's not vintage. Per
That's
se.
true. So I don't know how many of you know, but I started a live stream with Soundtracks with Birdman, and we're rereading the GI Joe comics. And so I'm reading them for the first time. We do it on Mondays, and I was talking to him, when the GI Joe Classified series, when they started doing the Iron Grenadier faction, I was so excited about this faction. He had just up and bought me a vintage demon, and it just showed up in the mail one
Oh my
day.
gosh.
And I was like, holy crap. And I think it's super meaningful to me. One, just the generosity of Soundtracks with Birdman continues to astound me. He's such a good friend. We met on YouTube when Toy Habits was in its infancy. I think we had like 10 subscribers at the time.
Oh my gosh.
And so yeah, I would go on his show and we would rewatch movies and stuff like that. And he was asking me, he's like, do you have any like vintage Iron Grenadier vehicles? And I said no. And lo and behold, the demon shows up. And I think this was one of the vehicles that I love but never had.
Yeah.
So I love Destro's Despoiler. I think of it as like the cake topper to the demon, because you can just perch it up there. But
that's so true.
I'm really hoping that the Classified series kind of goes into some of the like smaller vehicles like the Despoiler. But
because we need to get this version of Destro.
Yeah, I know, totally. Yeah, I hope so. But I thought that was really, really, really nice, and it means a lot to me. Like the toys are the toys, but it's the meaning behind the toys that I think we all connect with and we all remember.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes it that much more special.
It's the stories, it's the camaraderie, it's the friendships, right? And that's a wonderful story, especially this time of year, gifting and everything. So wow, amazing, great stuff.
So generous of him. Which that's totally how he is. He's incredible.
Yeah,
Daniel's amazing. And it looks great on display, and just all the other characters in that same black and red and gold colorway that just looks so incredible together. And it makes you remember how amazing and detailed vintage toys were back then.
Yes.
And this thing's 40-ish years old, and it still looks incredible. And they just don't make things like they used to, so it just makes you kind of treasure it that much more, and really appreciate the amazing engineering, I guess you can say, and quality that toys had back in the day when we were kids. And they don't make it like they used to. Even we're getting incredible stuff now. It's like the fact that this is 40 years old and still keeping up, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm super fortunate to have a friend like that, and also to just we talk a lot, and he's just a really cool person. And there's also some other stuff that showed up as well in this picture too.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, awesome. Soundtracks with Birdman.
That is so cool. And then Mega J's number 3 pick is really incredible. Mega J, take it away.
Yeah, you know what? Again, huge Thundercats fan. I did not get the timed edition. Again, everything's tight.
Yes.
Everything's tight these days. Everything's tight. It's budgeting is a big thing, and of course, Mondo, being as awesome as they are expensive. So when this timed edition came out, I reported on it along with you guys, and I was very excited about it. My friend JP over at Thundercats Classics, Carlos the Batter, we were all drooling over this thing, right? Yeah. But it just once again came down to, it's not the right time for me, right? Luckily, we did find out that they released a retail edition, so and that was going to go on for a little bit, so I can actually get save up a little money and every month and finally pick this guy up. But honestly, the pack out, everything about this, the way it's been thought of, the articulation, all the head sculpts, everything that was included with this version is just top notch. I wish I could have gotten it, but I didn't, and I missed out on Demon Snarf. So many so many great things about this, right? But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure somewhere along the line they're probably going to release another Snarf, more articulated. Maybe in a 2-pack with
Yeah.
a Snarfer. I'm hoping because they did it with Orko, right? So Orko got his own figure, right?
Yep.
So I'm hoping for something a little bit more along those lines. But definitely check out the article on toyhabits.com. Again, absolutely stunning in-hand review. And guys, this seriously, it's just as with anything else, Mondo, right? Absolutely bonkers, right?
Yeah.
So, stuff.
Yeah. So this is my review that I did get the deluxe timed edition, and the figure's incredible. Snarf does not look like he's possessed anymore. I think they really cleaned up and chilled out on the dark wash on his face, so now he looks cute. But it's an incredible figure, and the pack out compared to the retail one, I guess the dollar value that you got for it was amazing. So you can see there is Lion-O and Snarf, and I choose to pose him without his skirt because he looks much more vintage to me. But I mean, that is the pack out that he came with, and it was just such an amazing value. Like, there's 4 additional heads, so you get 5 heads total on this Lion-O, which is unheard of.
Crazy.
Right? The soft goods cape with the
Value
wire in it.
there.
All these swords.
The value is there. At the time, I couldn't.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, like the figure is amazing, and Mondo hit it out of the park. Like,
absolutely.
The claw shields the fingers are articulated on there as well, which is amazing. The only little gripe I would say is that the Sword of Omens with the big lightning effect is a little bit heavy, and as soon as I put it in Lion-O's hands, the hilt popped off. I glued it back on. But because I was just trying to pose and it went because of the weight. It's quite a little bit heavy. But still an amazing figure, and they did an incredible job on this one. So I think this was a great pick, Jay.
Yeah, I know. No matter what, whether it's the retail version or the timed edition, I think you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. Amazing figure.
If you're a Thundercats fan, it's definitely a must-have for just to have a showpiece in your collection.
This was a sight to see at SDCC, though, just fully on display. Which is awesome. I'm getting out of the Mondo 12-inch figures, and when Mondo releases their 6-inch 2000X figures, I'll come back in smaller scale. But I've owned a lot of Mondo figures, and the quality is stunning. They did knock this one out of the park.
Absolutely, and even like all of the Thundercats symbols on his belt, on the Sword of Omens, on the little wrist bracers that he has, they're translucent. So it's like a translucent red, and you can kind of see through it, and it looks like the Thundercats logo is sort of floating on there. And I mean, they just did an incredible job. Yeah,
awesome.
Knocked it out of the park on this guy. So great choice, Jay, for number 3. All right, now we're getting down the wire. We're now down to number 2. So my number 2 pick, and this came in February, I believe, so it definitely was in 2024. This is a modern choice, although an amazing homage to a vintage playset, and is the one and only that you can see right behind me. It is my Eternia playset. I've always dreamed of owning this. Having a vintage one is completely unattainable for me, and the fact that Mattel took on such a huge, incredible project and brought us an Eternia playset for all of us who wanted one, for all of us Origins collectors, for all of us who even collect, vintage Masters of the Universe or just like Masterverse figures. The scale that they did this, and the quality, and just the complete incredible homage to this playset is amazing. And the fact that it means a lot to me too, because it is my backdrop for the show, and it's just so iconic. And the meaning of having the Grayskull Tower and the Viper Tower with Central Tower in the middle, a good and evil clash, is just it's so iconic to the whole brand of Masters of the Universe that it's a must have. And of course, the callbacks to the powers of Grayskull and Hero and the rest. Gotta love it.
Totally. This one, I never thought I would have owned an Eternia in my lifetime, and although it's not the vintage one, it's pretty damn close. I love what they did with it, and yeah, it's definitely a centerpiece in anyone's collection. It's
And the first time I got to run that monorail after I set it up, it was like this incredibly magical moment. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And I don't get to turn it on very often because I have too many things hanging off the set and it's a little pushed back close to the wall. So, but it's just so awesome. Jay, is this one that you picked up? I know you're a huge Motu fan. And you do have the giant Snake Mountain.
Yeah, this was a no-brainer. And anything Motu is going to pretty much tip me over the edge. But I mean, I was following this for a long time, and I did a countdown live stream. I did a whole bunch of things with this one, and not to throw salt on any wounds, but this was the first, not the first. I think there are multiple examples of it, but this really did highlight the idea that you got to keep your promises, because I really do believe that once they said everybody gets a King Grayskull. It derailed the entire momentum that they had.
Yeah.
And that same scenario came up with Ecto 1. As soon as they announced that everyone was going to get they announced that everyone was going to get Tully, everybody stopped backing the damn thing, right? Because they said, okay, well, we don't have to back it right now. Why not? If you're worried that it's not going to happen, wait until the deadline and then announce it. Because at least then you know that whatever you reached, however high it would have gone, you were going to give it away anyway, right? Why not roll the dice, see what happens? You were going to give it away anyway, so get the minimum funding, right? I just keep your promises. That's all I got to say. Like I think that there is a lot of things about exclusivity. The that's Key of Omens right now. You know what I mean? That's going to be a big deal for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So it's huge. So I don't know. It's crazy. The thing about this version, though, if you really boil it down, there are only 4,000 pieces from the original that we know of, right? Like they pretty much confirmed that. The actual number that this came under is not that different. This is still an incredibly rare item. It's absolutely huge, and I was actually considering this as my top 5, and I was considering it for my honorable mentions, but this one, I didn't know we could do play sets. I didn't realize that. But
anything.
Anything.
I didn't. I thought
it's okay. I guess we should have just clarified our rules more.
But this one really, it is. I remember. See, the thing is, I never owned this thing. I didn't even know it existed. But what happened was, sorry, I didn't know it existed, but only for the reason that I used to go to this store called Zellers here in Canada. And here's a funny story. It wasn't this. Like, I guess they got 2 or 3 of these, and the one that they couldn't sell because they could never sell the damn thing. I kept seeing it, but I kept seeing it in the most unusual situation. My mom would always take me shopping with her. And eventually she would go to the women's department for clothing, right? And for whatever reason, I don't know which, butthead decided to do this, but I'm glad he did because it staved me off from boredom. Whoever it was decided, I'm just going to mount this on top of the women's dressing area. Like, so you see all these mirrors and this whole, the way they used to, they just put it around this huge pillar. And right at the top, on top of all the women's dress, is this just huge, gigantic box of Eternia. I'm like, what is that doing there? And I'm just staring. I'm a little kid. I'm just staring right up at it. And I got to think all these women were like, what's wrong with this kid? I mean, just in front of the women's dressing room, like just staring at this box of Eternia. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I want it, right? And the thing is, nobody could tell me how much it cost. Nobody could tell me what it was doing there. And again, I'm a kid in the middle of the women's dressing area looking at a box of Eternia. So that's my interest. And
that's awesome.
It is crazy. Like, just absolutely nuts.
That is awesome.
I love that story.
I do too. Yeah, just such an epic play set, and we're so lucky to be like living through such a special time at Toy Renaissance. I mean, it truly is. The fact that we have this play set that Mattel actually went through making this thing, and I got to tell you, the most special memory I have about this Eternia play set is when all three of us were covering upcoming coverage for San Diego Comic-Con, and I think it was like preview night, and photos started leaking of this.
Yes.
And the three of us were, I think we were like getting set to go live. Like me and Michael took the week off of work, and I don't know if maybe you, Mega J, might have sent us photos, or somebody did, and we were like, "Oh my god, wait, that's not a vintage Eternia, that's a new one," because we started looking at the details of it. We're like, "Holy shit, they actually are doing this at the display." Every time we kept looking at that display and we got some photos of it, we saw all these new figures too, and like we all lost our shit. It was just such a fun moment.
It was. We actually, I think we were all just talking about how it dropped hours before the show opened, and we were just losing our minds. So you know, it was an awesome time. You know,
it was an awesome time.
Yeah,
it was, and that was one of my favorite memories of this Eternia playset, because it's like not only are we collectors, but we're on the other side, and so we get to sometimes see sneak peeks of this, and we live through these amazing memories together, and these moments that like kind of, you know, they tie us together because we lived it, we saw this experience, and it was just so fun to get to feel that incredible excitement, especially before other people got to see it, and then we all started leaking the photos, and it was just blew our minds. So that was really special about this.
Yeah. So Droid Commander, Chuck Castle is right. It was anywhere between $75 to $100.
It was $89.99 was the retail price. I want to give a huge shout out to Droid Commander. He's actually one of my best friends that I used to play with as a kid, and so we recently reconnected at a reunion. So I was like, "This is great."
That's so awesome.
That's awesome.
It was magic place, man.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
amazing memories, and just, you know, this is I think, you know, we all have like many lines that we all collect, and like Motu's one that brings, I think, everybody in our audience together, all of us together. So it's just, you know, kind of the ties that bind that make this that much special. And it's like all the different, you know, the three towers is like, okay, like these factions of what ties us together in the world of Eternia and our love for toy collecting. So that makes this really special.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I do share your sentiment about, I think it's the corporations that are messing with all of these crowd funds, because they're like, we're not seeing the numbers, and so the design team has to react to that, and they have to do things that they probably don't want to do. And it's like they definitely need to stop it. They need to let it ride and actually be the true crowd fund that it was supposed to be. It's all or nothing, right? It doesn't matter how much money that you've poured into it. I mean, look at the poor Snake Lair, right?
Oh my God.
We haven't heard a peep from Comic-Con or from you know, when they stopped that campaign and are, you know, rethinking it. So who knows what it's going to be.
The thing about that though is like thousands of dollars, like tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, a lot of money is sunk into these things.
Poured into the research and development, right? So, and you know, I still say it, and I think we all said it. We were all thinking it. There were too many good ideas.
Yeah.
Way too many good ideas, right? I think they really wanted this to be like a magnum opus kind of thing, because it's just a brand new original set. And the problem is with that is this is the way they teach us this in design school. You got to learn when less is more. Less is more. You got to learn when to pull back, right?
Yep.
But I think the design team just was so excited, and bravo to them. You know what? They pulled something so cool together. The problem is when you sell somebody on a concept, I think people want that concept, you know, at least close to the concept, because you put that same concept on the back of one of the teaser arts. I think we were all expecting that it to look something closer to that, and I think
I mean, it's what was on the fans' choice vote. It was what was on the card back art.
And sketches.
And there's something about, even though it wasn't this huge ginormous, everything of the kitchen sink playset, there was a vintage charm to it. It was a playset that felt like it belonged in 1983 or 84 when Castle Grayskull came out, when Snake Mountain came out. It had the same vintage charm of its clamshell shape and size, and it really felt like it belonged in the original line. And I think that's part of the nostalgia and what attracted people to it.
Yes.
And then we got something completely different and big and amazing, but it wasn't what we were all expecting. And I think that's kind of what threw everybody off.
Yes.
Big shout out to Ryan Cole, amazing Toy Habits crew member, and ever so generous, gifting yet another 10 Toy Habits memberships.
You're amazing.
Ryan, you are so nice and generous and kind, especially during the holiday season. So 10 of you in the chat are going to get 10 Toy Habits memberships picked at random, and just check the chat. You'll see who it is. And Merry Xmas to you, Ryan, and to everybody else in the chat. That was super kind of you. So, Michael, let's dive into your number 2 pick.
All right, I'm going to take everybody back to 1984. So I think I've told this story plenty of times, but I'm going to tell you again. So when I was a kid, this was back in the day when, I guess we're probably all around the same age. You could just hop on a plane. Your parents could take you to the gate, see you off. And so my parents, I think starting at age 6, they would send me over to visit my grandparents who lived in New Jersey, and had the best time there as a little kid. And also through my early teen years, just kind of being a kid. It's like, it's what it's all about. They were on the Jersey Shore, so I got to go to the beach. I'd go bowling every day. My grandfather taught me bowling. He would also take me to these stores to buy me toys because, of course, if you're a grandfather, you spoil your grandchildren. And so this was one of the figures that he bought me. And I get really, really like sentimental and nostalgic for the toys that my grandfather bought me because, of course, he's not with us anymore, but it's like seeing this stuff. I could see him, like he's like, hey, he was from New Jersey. Hey, Mike, you want to, he's like, do you like this thing? I was like, sweet. I'm like, Blaster is not the most like complicated or popular Transformer, but it means something to me, especially when he actually took me to the store, Bradley's, to get this figure. And so when I saw a vintage Blaster box with a Bradley sticker on it, I was like, I need this. Like, I don't care how much money this is going to cost me. I've never found a Bradley sticker on anything. And that was the main store that he would take me to. And so when I saw this, I usually don't buy stuff with price tags and stickers on them because I'm like, oh, it's going to cover up everything. But I was like, bring it on. I'm like, I wanted the Bradley sticker to be in like mint condition, but I'm like, I'll take this.
That's awesome. That is such a great story. I love that. And the fact that, you have such wonderful memories with your grandfather, and, those toys that stick with you from your childhood all the way till now. And the fact that, your beloved grandfather got that for you. And then you could find one with a Bradley sticker. I mean, that is so cool.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was a Wheeljack's Lab, who is, I'm sure everybody knows him on eBay. It's like, I don't know where he finds all this stuff, but he has like hundreds of thousands of things for sale. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
I love that story. That's so great. My grandfather, he would go home to the Philippines, and this one time he came back, and he would always bring home, little souvenirs for all of us. But I remember this one time he came back around Christmas, and we didn't know why he came back around Christmas because usually, I'm getting it mixed up. No, he would come back after Christmas, right? Because again, the weather is better, right? So he'd come back around spring, and we always knew we were going to get something from Grandpa. So he came back this one year, and I remember him bringing this gigantic box from me and my brother, and he goes to us, "You have to share it," and we're like, "Why?" We're like, usually bring one for each of us, but this thing was ginormous. This thing was freaking huge, and we didn't know. We were like, "Okay, I guess we'll share it." We rip open the package, and we could not believe it. It hadn't even come out here in Canada yet. It was Omega Supreme, And
Oh
we
my
were like,
gosh.
"What is this?" We didn't even know what it was. And
Wow.
it was in the Transformers box. It was like he hadn't even shown up in the cartoon, so we were like, "This is insane!" And we didn't know, and we were like, it was just the craziest thing. And again, one of those great memories that we have, just like yourself. And if I ever find a box very similar to that, I might just end up doing what Michael did, because that
Yeah.
is a good memory, 100%.
That
Yeah.
is so cool.
A lot of the vintage buying that I did centered around like nostalgia and just like bringing back memories like that.
Mhm.
I didn't throw in an honorable mention, but I guess I can maybe I'll grab a live prop when we
Yeah.
get into those.
You absolutely could do that, because like I couldn't narrow mine down to 5. But this is such a cool pick, Michael. I love the story behind it. And just, having such an amazing memory tied to this, and you're able to acquire one with that Bradley sticker is so cool. And then which brings us to Nugget J's number 2 pick.
Yeah, this was crazy. I never thought, not that I figured eventually it would happen, but I'm just gonna put it out there. Mattel's taking too long. They're taking too long with an incredible property.
Yeah.
I was a huge Brave Star fan, absolutely massive Brave Star fan. And when I heard that Ramatoy was going to take on the Marshal, I was like, oh
Mhm.
my god! And then another company beat him to the punch,
Is
but
this
at a
right?
scale which was weird, very very
Oh,
strange,
this
very
is-
very weird. I mean, he
yeah.
looks great. Don't get me wrong. Like he looks
Yeah. He's
cartoon
great.
accurate. Yeah, he looks amazing, right?
Yeah.
But he's not in the. He's like more SH figure art scale. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's not going to work right now. At least not in the way Ramen's doing it. Ramen really
Mhm.
took it, and I did a review on this. Again, huge shout out to our good friends over at Titan Toys for giving us that opportunity. Yep, Titan Toys. And again, it's an amazing action figure. I love what they've done with it. There are some things. There, there he is, good old Danny. There are some things
We miss you, Danny.
I am a little bit, I did mention in the review, there are a couple of things which could have been, um, I guess they're fine, but even Ramen said afterwards, they put a comment down. You can luckily everything is removable. You can actually remove things if
Mhm.
you want to get more articulation out of it, and it's true. So that's amazing. And if you ended up getting the early bird, you got Kyrium, you got the freaking
Mhm.
necklace, and
Mhm.
you got the big blaster. So
Yep.
there was just so much to love here. And of
Mhm.
course, I believe that Toy Sources or Michael, did you guys do a review on this? I believe you did.
Those are my photos.
And
Yeah.
those are your photos right there. So
I have.
that's what it is.
I just
Guys,
threw in some extras.
check out the review on Toy Habits. It's an incredible toy all around. I do have to just say that my biggest issues, if anything, were definitely the knee pads
Mhm.
because they just bunch up so much.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's literally my only concern. Other than that, it's a really great figure. Okay, and I'd say the hat doesn't really sit. It doesn't kind of
Yeah.
just holds
Sits on
them.
there. But I mean, such a really cool recreation to such an incredible character, amazing figure, and just bringing that back to kind of modernizing the articulation and also bring us a cartoon accurate one. Obviously, the one that we got from the vintage line is amazing figure. I really love it, and I've been trying to build out my vintage line of Brave Star figures. But this one is totally top notch, and bravo to Ace and his team over at Ramen Toys for the job they did on this. And then he's coming out with 3030 soon too.
That's going to be nuts. And if anybody hasn't seen it yet, we have pictures and it's
Mhm.
looking ridiculous. Like he's massive, absolutely massive.
Jeez.
Yeah, and you can sit him. He goes on all fours and sitting up, or just staying up as a.
No, he's a bipedal. He's not gonna transform.
That's a bummer. I mean, it's really hard to track down like a good vintage version of 3030 that isn't totally falling apart and cracking, because
Messed up.
that vintage figure is so brittle. I can't even tell you. Mine I tracked one down. I got a good deal on eBay, and then when it made it here, it was cracked, like just from shipping. It like all sorts of parts broke.
Yeah,
So,
that's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking.
yeah. Yeah. But that's going to be a really, really cool companion figure to get with this. Awesome. So that brings us to
Number one.
drum roll. We're down to our number one picks for 2024, and mine, it is a vintage pick. This is the crown jewel of my collection. It's not the biggest place that I have. It is not the Super 7 ginormous Cat Slayer. It is the LJN 1986 vintage Cat Slayer playset. It's a playset I've always wanted since I was a little kid. I never had this. I always was a huge Thundercats fan. I have my very first Lino here with me that my sister bought for me, and I proudly display him in front of the doors on that playset. But this is something I've wanted in my toy collection forever. I mean, absolutely forever. And it's so hard to track one down that's in good shape, that's not yellowed. I bought one. I picked one up 6 months ago at a local toy shop, but it was in pretty poor condition. It was very yellowed and it was missing a ton of pieces. And I was ever so grateful to be able to have it in my collection, but I was never satisfied because I was like, I can't track down the doors. I can't track down, the little gate pieces on the inside. It's just really hard to get all the parts for it. So I was never happy. And I always kept my eye out for like a complete set and to find a good deal. And I was lucky enough to track one down. And so I acquired this one a few months back, sold my old one that I acquired from the toy shop that was incomplete. And it's wonderful for parts for someone who needs it. So I finally, to this point, I have gotten my holy grail of my collection.
Oh.
This is always something that my whole entire childhood I wanted. And it's the first thing I see when I walk in my toy room because it's facing the door. It's right next to my desk. And I love it with all my heart and soul. It just means a lot to me. I'm a huge Thundercats fan.
I love the fact that Toy Store says it's not the biggest playset. It's freaking huge. Okay,
it's not
the
biggest playset, right? I've got Eternia behind me.
I know, but
I have the Super 7 one coming.
I know, but when you really think about it, this thing towers over Castle Grayskull. It towers over Snake Mountain. It towers over a whole bunch of different playsets.
It's actually about the same height as Castle Grayskull, but it's a little bit wider.
It's still massive. It's a gargantuan thing. It's huge.
It is big, but it's not. And the thing is, that's nice that it's like it's proportionate. It's not like too huge.
Yeah.
I have it here in person. It's not like ultra ginormous. It's a decent size. It's manageable. It's not like, oh my god, I gotta move into a new house to fit Super 7 Cat Slayer. Right? It is manageable to a normal shelf. I have it on a Target for 6 cube shelf it's sitting on top of. So it fits on that. That's what that photo is.
It's still big.
I didn't have to make ultra special accommodations to fit it, right?
That's true.
But there's something that when you look at this playset, it just hits so much nostalgia. That bright red, doors to the lair and the bright blue claws that lift up and the lion's head at the top. It's just, this is pure nostalgia for me. And to probably, display my vintage Thundercats on there is just, this was just like what toy collecting was. I reached that point where I think I feel like, all of the hard effort and everything I put into it, I've finally gotten, because I've gotten to get my grail piece here. So
I love that.
That's why this was my number one pick.
So cool. Yeah, everybody's got their grail for various reasons, and the stories that you have behind these things are they're what it's all about. It's the meaning behind it. The toy is the toy at the end of the day, but it's all the stories behind all the meaning that we have to this. And it's so cool that you have one and in amazeballs condition too.
It's funny because the person I bought this from called me while I was at work. Nobody calls you from eBay. I bought this from eBay. The guy called me and he was so concerned about how he was going to ship it and to make sure it came okay. And he coordinated with me on the phone. He called me multiple times. He's such a nice guy, a great collector, and I really got a really good deal on it. It was and we like connected. Like he was a nice person. You never meet anybody. You don't talk to people from eBay. It's like you buy something, it gets shipped to your house, and then you're done with your transaction. But this person actually reached out to me. I guess they do provide your phone number when you complete a transaction for eBay. So he was able to reach out to me, and I'm just so glad that it came in incredible condition. And I had to take apart the vintage one in order to sell it and ship it. And I never knew how one of these got put together. So it was like deconstructing of the vintage play set and getting to learn like how it all worked, and like the electronics, because I had to disconnect the little wire harness that's on the head that controls the electronic parts. And so it was quite an adventure getting this, and getting it to work, and financially also getting it to work. So that's how I was able to do it. Yeah.
Really quickly, Mother Slug, they did build spaceships. They built a bunch of them. The Freelander goes into space all the time. But if you're thinking why they wouldn't need a big spaceship, it's because they had to skip the planet which exploded, so they're not going to go back to
You're not going back home. That's funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's just like Superman can't go back to his planet either.
Pretty much. That's their home.
Like when I was putting this list together, like to me, there was no doubt in my mind what my number one pick was going to be. I was just like, this is it.
I love it.
Anything in my toy room, that's it.
Just incredible. I always wanted the Cat's Lair, but again, you can only have one big toy in my house at a time. So my mom picked Snake Mountain and Castle Grayskull. I was happy with that.
Those are
great.
Those are awesome.
My brother got one. I got the other one. So.
I never got any play sets when I was a kid. I barely got figures. I had to go sneak off and buy them when I was visiting my grandma. I used to have to build them out of cardboard. I remember building a bat cave with my sister and a Hall of Justice out of cardboard and coloring it in and making the little computer consoles and everything, because my parents wouldn't buy me any of that. Maybe that's why I became an architect. I don't know. But I have fond memories of building them, but I never got play sets as a kid. So it means everything to me. So that's amazing that you were able to get, Snake Mountain and Castle Grayskull as a child.
Actually, I remember now. It was Santa Claus who brought them. Actually, now I remember. So
that is so cool. That is awesome. That is awesome. So that was my number one pick. Michael, what was your number one pick?
All right, so my number one pick for this for 2020.
So this is the modern.
Did you buy this year, Michael? Is that what, oh my god!
So all right, so I'm an off and on collector, and I've been throughout the years, and so sometimes I will buy things, I will resell them. I have bought and resold the vintage Transformers my vintage Transformers collections, time and time again. Same with Star Wars. I wasn't collecting Star Wars at the time when this came out. And this was something that I've always wanted, and it was never attainable because the prices were just so much, and it was so unattainable. And it was funny. There's a vintage toy shop that hopefully I'll take the Toy Sorceress to when she comes and visit. It's called Toy Fusion, and they were having an estate sale. And no, this was not at the estate sale, but the thing that I bought at the estate sale allowed me to fund this particular purchase. And so, you've heard me time and time again. I've done this on this live stream too. Like, the nostalgia of things is what I remember. And so at this estate sale, there was an AT-TE, which is one of the Clone Wars vehicles, and it was in this like really, really nice gift set, and it was for I think $150 that I bought this thing for, because my son and I used to play with all of these the Clone Wars action figures and vehicles, and I'd bought him an AT-TE. And when I got home, I started looking on eBay, and this particular set, I guess, was a Costco exclusive and was really, really expensive. And so I was like, what I could do is I could buy an AT-TE for a lot less money than what I could resell this for. So reselling this at TE allowed me to fund the Java sail barge, which is the Katana. Interesting story too. So I've been watching. I was watching a ton of these on eBay. They don't go for probably less than $2,000, and so this guy had put it up, and he had put it up for auction, and he started it at I think $900, but he had best offer, and so
Yeah.
I was like, well, let me just take a shot in the dark to see if he'll bite or just get the ball rolling with my opening offer. And he actually took the opening offer, which was the price that I had sold that at TE Costco exclusive set. So I kind of did a one-to-one swapping of things in order to fund this. So
No.
I think this is one of the most beautiful vehicles that the Hasbro team has produced, and I'm so happy to have it in my collection. I think this thing is 4 feet long. If you don't get the scale, it's huge. The person that I bought it from had installed LED lights inside the inside of it too, so it doesn't light up, but mine does because he installed
Wow.
LED lights in it. So it's kind of fun. I love recreating like scenes from the movie and stuff. And Toy Sorceress was nice enough to get me a skiff for my birthday. And so I kind of have that scene outside of Jabba's sail barge where,
That's cool.
Luke's going to get pushed off into the Sarlacc, and then the whole thing goes to shit.
That is so awesome. That looks incredible. I love, the display in there, and recreating all the scenes on the barge, and Jabba on his throne. This is an incredible playset. It is huge. Have you seen that they're making a Lego version of this?
I did.
well?
I saw it at the Lego store, and it's
Uh-huh.
funny. Like after seeing this, I went to the Lego store and I was like, "Wow, that's really, really tiny."
Yeah, I know, right? In
Um,
comparison, but it's still a big Lego set.
yeah, but I'm super happy to have this. This actually just sits right next to me. I had to buy a big piece of furniture to display it, so this is kind of like I'm building out my homage to Jabba the Hutt on this display.
Wow, that looks awesome.
Beautiful. Just gorgeous.
It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
And it's funny because like the vintage collection it's a 3 3/4 inch scale, so it's like with Star Wars there's so many different lines in that, and it's like you got to kind of pick and choose, because if not, everything gets so out of hand, right? So it's like I chose not to collect the vintage collection because if not, you've got Black Series, you got retro, and I do have a big extensive Kenner collection. So this is one line that I've stayed out of, but when you look at the figures, they look so incredible. And I've got maybe just a couple, pieces here and there, a couple of vintage collection figures. But looking at it like this, and seeing that, all of the vehicles they make for this line, because the figures are at that scale, but with the detail they have, it makes you like kind of want to jump back into that line. For me, it's way too late, but it's incredible that you have this, and you did a wonderful job displaying it. I mean,
Thank you. I'm always taking notes from you, and I was like, every time that I put something together, I'd be like, how would the Toy Sorceress do this?
It is absolutely awesome. Like I love this.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, I love this too. I really want them to make like a 6-foot Star Destroyer as like their ultimate like HasLab. I'm like, this do it already.
This little like vintage Star Destroyer is just like kind of a joke when you compare. It's like a little like wedge of pizza or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That was an epic hunt, though. No matter what, that was great. It's good stuff.
I mean, sometimes you got to get creative like that, right? You got a great deal on the other piece. You were able to sell it and fund this. As I did with my Cat Slayer, I got an amazing deal on the one that was in kind of crappy condition. I actually traded some toys to pay for that one, and then ended up buying this one at almost the same price I sold mine for.
That's great.
So yeah, you got to get creative because things are super expensive, and sometimes it takes some legwork, but you're able to get there, right?
Yeah.
That was very ingenious of you and innovative, and just
very thankful.
That's what you do.
It's funny because I'd bought this probably days or maybe a week before my wife and I's anniversary, and she's like, "What am I going to get you?" And I'm like, "I got something coming. I got you covered. You just give this to me for our
You saved
anniversary."
your trouble.
It came on our anniversary, so
I'll make you a deal you can't refuse, Mike.
I know. Like how such a no-brainer.
That's awesome. This is a great set. And then so Jay, you'll have to fill in the details of this one because I'm on your number one pick. I'm not a big Transformers person, so I didn't know which version of Optimus Prime this was. You can fill in the details, so I just put Optimus Prime.
Yeah, so this is it's not a holy grail for it's not a grail for me, but when they announced this figure, both my brother and I dropped our jaws. Like, if for any collectors of Transformers, you'll know that the last couple of Optimus Primes in the main line have been pretty disappointing. They've been really small. They come with trailers, but it's just a little bit underwhelming. So when they announced Studio Series Optimus Prime, and he would be near close to masterpiece quality, I think the collective Transformers community just literally lost their minds. And when it actually got showcased, just before San Diego Comic-Con, everybody was losing their minds. It was just this incredible piece. And the way he transformed, the way he looked, everything about him was just so accurate to the movie that I think people literally were like, this is going to be the greatest Optimus Prime for now, because they won't stop releasing Optimus Primes, right? I mean, he is whenever they release an Optimus Prime, somebody has to buy it, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of like this generation of Transformers, this is going to be the best Optimus Prime for quite some time.
It's this guy, right?
Pardon?
It's this one, right?
It is this one. Yes, this is the one. This is it. This is sold out complete. Like people like this thing will continue to sell out because it just comes with a huge trailer. It comes with Roller. It comes with all the pieces that you really wanted to come with, which Roller did not come with the last version of Optimus Prime, which people were upset to the nth degree, right?
Crazy.
This is just absolutely nuts. And bravo to the Hasbro team. They really knocked out of the park with this one. And huge thanks to Takara for making this happen. Absolutely insane. Beautiful stuff.
That's great. Like, and the articulation on this one looks amazing. Like
It's
the way he can pose and bend, and that's really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Studio Series, I really love what they're doing with that, because they're really making the characters come to life. It's like you love them in the cartoon, but it's like you want that cartoon version, and it's like like they're giving it to you on a silver platter. I love it.
It's gorgeous. It's just a dream come true for many of us, and it gives us hope that the final few figures will also get Studio 86 treatment. The Studio 86 RC was not well received. And we're really hoping that they'll redo RC with a new version. And, again, it just gives us a lot of hope. So great. Like, there's been a lot of fun, counting back the top five. I guess I didn't understand the assignment. I didn't know that I could go do whatever I wanted. But I really appreciate, guys, spending time with you guys here on the holidays.
Oh my God.
It's always great to spend time with Toy Habits, and I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna have to go. The family's waiting, so we're.
Oh my gosh, Jay, thank you so much for coming on and spending time with us, even though you are also trying to.
I thought I'd get her earlier. I thought we could chat a little bit more, but we got kind of stuck. I thought it was gonna be here, spend time with them first, and then do one thing. But that's not what happened. To kind of make it all just.
Do you want to take 10 seconds and mention your honorable mentions before you go?
Sure. Actually, instead of the honorable mentions, would it be too much if I just talk a little bit about?
Talk about your new channel.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can bring it up, but if you guys are interested, myself and Danny Green, who couldn't be here tonight, we're starting a new channel, which is going to be a lot of fun, and it's called. It's called That Figures on YouTube, but it's actually called Figure Me. That's we tried to get Figure Me, it didn't work. And if you just go to youtube.com/that figures me,
I'm getting there.
Yeah, it should come up. There it is. So what we're doing here with this particular channel is we really want to highlight some of the great creators out there, a lot of customizers, a lot of diorama makers, and basically bring them forward, because a lot of these guys just don't have enough exposure. And what we really want to do is highlight a lot of the great work that's being done out there. I've already got 2 diorama reviews, and they're both amazing creators. And what we end up doing is it's not going to be a constant thing, but we try to do these little music videos at the end, which are a lot of fun and really put different characters into different situations which you might not know about, and pretty much highlighting independent creators and independent toys, and we really want to highlight that, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Definitely check out that figures. Michael, if you just want to quickly click on the dial that one right there. If you just want to click on that, just give a little bit of a sneak peek as to what people can expect. We do a little bit of everything, and just showcase what new figures are coming. This one is Delta 17, a wonderful new toy line, and we're just trying to do something different, a little bit more cinematic, but at the same time, just
editing great.
Right. So guys, definitely check out the videos, check out the channel. If you enjoyed that type of content, please consider subscribing, because we have a lot more creators we really want to bring attention to, like Mega City Minis, who created this wonderful diorama. I mean, look at the quality in this diorama. It's a representation of the old Janeway subway station here in Toronto. But if you ever lived in Toronto, this is literally how it looked at one point, right before they remodeled it. And you can see all the trash, all the little details like Coke bottles, McDonald's newspapers. He worked so hard on this, and he really needs more attention to his Instagram. So yeah, guys, please check out this channel, and we do a lot of tips on lighting and how to improve the look of your dioramas. So I think you guys will enjoy that, and if you do, please consider subscribing. And thank you to Toy Habits for letting me have that 5 minutes to talk about it, because
Of course.
you guys.
Yeah, we were planning to let you plug that anyway before you left.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
So great to see you.
Yeah,
I
it was great hanging out, Jay.
want to wish everybody out here a very happy holiday season. If you do celebrate it, Merry Christmas, and whatever holiday you celebrate this year. Thank you guys for everything, and of course, huge shout out to Toy Habits, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to ToyHabits.com and check out. They are the best resource for toy news all year round. And of course, if you haven't already, give them a like and a follow. Tell them that Jay sent you, because we are in the season of giving, and this is the best present ever. Getting time to spend with the Toy Sorceress and Michael. So, guys, thank you again.
Jay, it's been a pleasure. And
Yeah.
we always love having you on. I want to wish you and your family happy holidays. Of course, you got to follow, subscribe, watch all of Mega Jay's channels. You're now growing into multiple channels, which is an incredible feat. So congratulations on that. So, follow Mega Jay on all of his channels. He has just amazing videos, and just so much fun to watch you. And always, so much fun hanging out with you. You're such a great friend. And I just want to wish you happy holidays, and hope you enjoy your time with your family.
Yes.
And just send in a big hug.
I can't wait until next year to see you guys. And if you want to do an Airbnb, let me know now, because apparently they're going fast. So
we need to get on that. I've just been so busy that we absolutely need to get on that.
And guys, if you haven't met these guys in person, head to San Diego, because it's going to be a lot of fun seeing these guys again.
We tore that place up. We had so much fun. It was just like, many late nights, and just having a blast together. So I'm totally looking forward to it next year.
Yeah, especially the pizza. That pizza took forever.
Oh my God, that pizza! And it was like cardboard on a plate, but it was great, because it was just so much fun. And
Favorite memory of 2020.
I will always
we're going to keep talking about it. All right, guys.
open our pizza
Holiday
door,
season.
okay?
Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll see you guys later.
You
Bye,
too,
guys.
Jay.
Bye,
Bye.
Jay.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Jay is amazing.
Yes.
All right. Honorable mentions.
Okay, so just 2 real quick honorable mentions. So this is the 1987 vintage Real Ghostbusters Firehouse playset. Another playset that I've always wanted since I was a kid, and I was lucky enough to acquire this one from a local toy store that I frequent called Blast from the Past in Burbank, California. And this was also special to me, because I know Michael walked away for a second, but I acquired this while he was visiting for San Diego Comic-Con. Came down early that weekend. We tore up LA, toy hunting all over the place. and I saw this in the shop, and I didn't pull the trigger on it, and it bothered me all day long until I think we went back the next morning before having that special lunch with a certain someone.
Yep.
We totally drove like if you saw a little cartoon map with a car going on it, we had to go down south, and we tore sideways to Burbank and peeled out to get back in time for our lunch, because I'm like, I have to pick this up because we're going to be gone for a week in San Diego, and it's going to be gone. That was my last chance to get it. So totally a complete, really nice condition, vintage Ghostbusters Firehouse. And I have all of my vintage figures in there, and I just love it. So this is a very, very cool set. So happy to finally get one.
Oh my gosh, it was so
That's
exciting for you to like to be there when you pick this stuff up too. Like
Yes,
it's so awesome.
I
To get
know.
excited. You're like, yeah, because you were really thinking about it, like leaving it there, and you know, I think it's probably on your mind all night long.
It was. I'm like, I have to go back and get it because it was pricey, and I was just like, we're going on this trip, and you know, but I'm like, if I don't get it, I'm going to regret it. I'm never going to find another one like this. And it was a really good deal, but it was still, you know, kind of expensive. But the fact that I found this when you were visiting, and that we had that fun adventure going back for it, just meant a lot to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then my last honorable mention, and I had to add these two things. And like I said, they're not like a top 5, but they're memories and they're special to me. This is my custom G.I. Joe classified series scale. So these are the 6-inch scale figures that Angelo from G.I. Joe AT, he has a cool YouTube channel and Instagram page. He made these for me. He loves flocking the heads of these figures. He does them both in the 12-inch figure scale and 6-inch figure scale. And I remember seeing a post, I think on Facebook or Instagram, that he made a set of G.I. Joe Adventure Series figures, because I do have, you know, those Walmart reissues, the 12-inch of you know, the Action Sailor, the Action Pilot, and the Action Marine. And so to get these, and I saw them and I fell in love. I'm like, I need to have a vintage set of like a set of these in the G.I. Joe classified scale. How freaking cool would it be? And so he made these for me. I reached out to him on Facebook, and we started texting with each other. Such a nice guy. Angelo was great. He texted me the entire time he was like making them, and photos of updates, and then he shipped them to me in this little custom box. And I thought they were so incredible that I did this really cool article and a photo shoot out in my backyard. And I have these on display next to my 12-inch Action Adventure Team figures. So to get like flocked Adventure Team G.I. Joe classified figures, and they're custom. And Angelo was such a nice guy to make another friend as well. People in our toy community are so amazing, and he went through so much work to like make these for me, and also, you know, get the we between the two of us, we got all the bucks, and he put the little like stickers on there for the AT for Adventure Team. And I had a blast shooting these photos, so had to give a shout out to Angelo. It was a fun memory. That's why this is an honorable mention.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I remember when you got these heads, and I was like, this is so cool, because a lot of times it's the customizers that are going to do it a heck of a lot better than the mass produced versions of these. If we ever get a G.I. Joe Adventure Team classified series, like I'd highly doubt it, and highly doubt the flocking.
They wouldn't flock these. There's no way they would flock these at the scale, right?
So cool.
I mean, you would wish that they could do that, but like, I don't think they would ever mass produce a set like this.
No, not at all. Not at all. No. And you know, and I would put it on Mattel to do that, because they're used to doing flocking. I don't know about Hasbro.
Exactly. Hasbro, I don't think they would ever go through that trouble. And that was like a special time, the 1970s, to get, you know, I've got one. This is a vintage Action, you know, Adventure Team guy. But like the other ones look like the classic set here. But to get these 12-inch like flocked figures, dolls, or whatever you want to call them, there's something special about them. There's something charming that, you know, makes them so cool and so like classic. And of course, you know, loving like that 1970s graphics on the packaging and all that, you know, that cool 1970s like G.I. Joe logo. It just brings back a lot of very cool nostalgic memories, and so that's
Yeah.
why these are super special.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So many cool stories behind all the stuff that you showed. Was that all of the honorable mentions?
Yes,
that you
I just had the two, and then Mega J had 2 honorable mentions. We can just show those up on the screen real quick. So his was the Ramen Racer by Ramen Toys, and of course, you know, we all know Ace and how much hard work he went through to create this, and the incredible work that he did. I believe this already shipped to collectors, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But anyway, so this was Jay's honorable mention. I don't know if he had any personal stories to it. And then Modi. Modi was his other one.
Cool.
Modi was really special because I don't know what Jay's honorable mention reason was, but do you remember the story behind Modi and when we first saw something special about Modi? Besides that he was going to come with the Eternia playset?
Sure.
I can remind you. So we actually got leaked photos of Modi's packaging.
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know, and it was none other than Powers of Grayskull packaging. And I'm going to say it again, we lost our shit. We're like, oh my God, Powers of Grayskull, finally. And so we leaked these photos. I'm going to say leaked. We leaked these photos. And then I was on a stream shortly after with Teddy, and he had this.
Yes.
In package. And he's like, well, now that it's been leaked already. And I was like, did I do that? So he grabbed it
like,
online.
Urkel, did I do that?
Yeah, did I do that? It was on Kayla's stream. He's such a nice guy. So he pulled out the box because he had it on display in his toy collection. He's like, well, now that the cat's out of the bag, I can show you guys this.
That's so funny.
So it was a very fun and special moment.
We did the cat outing of the bag was
so that brings us to your honorable mentions. I think you went to go grab them.
Oh yes. Here, let me I made this cool little layout where you can still see you and me at the same time. I'm like, yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, I like that. Look, I'm in a bubble.
Yeah. So again, like this is gonna pull on the nostalgic heartstrings. So my honorable mention of something that I got this year was the Cloud Car Pilot. And like the Cloud Car Pilot is not the most exciting Star Wars figure ever. But you know, it meant a lot to me because this was again something that my grandfather bought me, and I immediately opened it and lost the little comms device that came with
like
it.
This big.
It's so tiny, and I was looking probably for 2 hours to try and find it, and it was literally I didn't have it for more than probably 2 seconds. I don't even know if I actually was able to put it.
Did it fall into like shag carpeting or something at the time?
I have no idea. I don't know. It's just probably part of the apartment now.
Yeah.
And never to be found again.
It just got absorbed into something material in the apartment.
Yeah, but the reason why I like this particular version of this card was it also has the promo for like Revenge of the Jedi, which the title was changed to Return of the Jedi, and so I wanted to find one with this sticker on it, and it also has a KB sticker on it.
Awesome. So where did you acquire that particular?
This was on eBay, and so like when I'm looking for something, it's an often like multiple times a day thing. So like I sort by newly listed, so I'm always seeing these stuff come up, and this was actually a really good price for what it is. But I also had to get a graded, loose graded Cloud Car Pilot
He's
figure.
in great shape.
Yeah, so I was like, this is gonna be my little homage to losing the little comms device, never to be lost again because it's encased in this plastic.
Encased in carbonite. Just kidding.
I know, right? Yeah, seriously.
That's so cool. I love that. I love that.
It was fun. Yeah, I guess when you come see the room, you'll kind of see. You've seen bits and pieces of it. I haven't really shown like a lot of it because it's still a disaster, and I'm just like. Maybe it'll still be disaster.
It doesn't do it justice until you're like standing in the actual space and see how it like all comes together, right?
Yeah.
I mean, same thing with you, and I would show you pictures, but you couldn't quite get the gist until you experience the space. So I'm looking forward to seeing your toy room in person.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you. We just saw each
Yeah.
other at the SoCal Joe show, which was so much fun
Yeah.
too. I
Yeah.
finally, I had actually shipped so I was gonna put all the stuff in a suitcase, and I was so worried about the baggage handlers just like
Yeah.
tossing stuff. I just got a couple boxes and shipped everything back.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I still haven't unpacked everything from there.
Clint,
So
Clint
that's-
says I need to build a second shed. No, that is not happening.
No, I mean, I had to start clearing out a couple things too to make space. Like I'm selling off my Mondo figures as well because they took up
Yeah,
a lot of room.
I,
I just
am.
got I kept Orko because he's really cute, but I don't know how long he'll stay. So I can make room for the
Orko's on the
for
chopping block.
Lion-O. and for He-Man has got the chopping block, and so did Skeletor,
Yep.
and She-Ra's up for sale. So
Oh.
just because of the large scale, I mean, I still love
Yeah.
the figures, but
Oh,
because they're delicate and you can't, it's not like something you're gonna like play with. They look really nice, but I guess have to make those decisions sometimes. And also, I just had some massive property tax bills, so I was like, I mean, they're cool, but what can I get rid of to help pay for that and make some space? So
yeah, when you live in California, the massive property tax bills are real.
and this was the first full one I got since I moved to the house, so I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, joys of home ownership.
The joys of home ownership, exactly. This has been fun. Building the second floor.
No, no, probably not. I didn't get one. So Texas Toy Attic. I sold my Beastman and Trapjaw to the Texas Toy Attic. So it found a new home, and I'm glad that he was able to receive it because I know that it'll be well taken care of and loved.
That's great.
This was really fun. Yeah, it's taking a trip down memory lane, but also just taking a trip down like what are some of the cool stuff that has been released this year. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that we probably done like a 10-hour stream on.
Oh my god, I know. And what the last thing we want to do before we go is actually circle back to the comments of the chat and all of you guys who have been patiently waiting, because I know a lot of you shared out there your top picks for 2024. So let's take a look real quick at those before we go. So Randall Guzik, which Randall, you are so amazing in sending us superpowers news and stuff like that all the time. I know you're always pinging me on Instagram, and thank you so much. When sometimes I don't get around to finding things, and you give me the heads up, and that's super nice of you. So let's take a look at your top 5. So you have the O-Ring Ghostbusters, which I just got, and I heard that they're great. I got to open those. But those are super fun. Retro Duke, Superpowers Classic Batman. That is an amazing sculpt on that Batman. I mean Superman. Sorry, I'm thinking Batman on the brain because I was looking at your logo. The new classic Superpowers Superman sculpt is incredible because the Wave 1 version of Superman, his legs were like way too straight. He had a little bit of a weird stance, and like they didn't quite get the head sculpt right. So this latest wave of Superpowers with classic Superman, his head sculpt looks so much better, and he's got that, like the legs that are classic Superpowers, where he's got the more heroic stance with the legs spread out. They nailed it on that one. That's a great choice.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
G.I.
Joe Dragonfly, awesome, and also your studio series Optimus Prime.
That was before Mega J revealed his number 1, so that was cool. They were on the same page.
Absolutely. I'll let you take this next one, Chris.
All right. Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, so we're going. We'll go backwards for this one. All right. So his 5th was New Eternia Evelyn, fantastic sculpt. Masterverse New Eternia Fisto, again, fantastic sculpt for number 4. Mayfex Eradicator. I have no idea what that is, but I'm sure it's awesome.
Yeah.
Studio Series Optimus Prime makes the list at number 2. Missing Link Optimus Prime is his number 1. I'm looking at that right now, and it's an awesome. I love their Missing Link series. So it's an awesome.
Great picks, Chris. Great picks. And let's see what King Panther has. So number 5, he has Mondo Rogue, which is a very cool version, very cartoonesque looking Mondo figure. And then Teela, I'm not sure if that's Cartoon Collection or Masterverse or whatever it is, but all the Teelas that have been released are amazing. Masterverse New Eternia Fisto getting some more love here. New Eternia Merman. Those are both great.
Okay.
I love, those the clear googly eyes on
Yeah.
that merman. That's the one I took pictures of in the pool. King Panther, those are great picks. And your last one here is Classified Once a Man Cobra Commander.
That was a good one.
That's a cool figure.
Yeah.
That is a very cool figure.
Yes. When I found out that my friend and old coworker John Gang did the box art for that, I had to get one because I was gonna pass it up, and I was like, I can't.
Yeah, that was a cool figure. It's one I didn't get to pick up because just the line was way too long at
Yeah.
CCC, and we ran out of time to get it. But that was very cool. Sorry, I clicked on that because we started that comment earlier. Just going back through if we have anybody else's list. Oh, here we go. Go ahead and take this one.
Ooh,
Clint.
Clint. I could have guessed it was going to be all Mondo. So I'm going to go backwards. So Mondo Gambit or Mondo Phantasm for number 5. Mondo Rogue number 4. Mondo Man Bat. That was actually a really cool one. Mondo Lion-O and Mondo Beastman is his number 1. Yeah, I had Beastman for I think 3 or 4 months, and I loved him dearly. He looked amazing. He was a big hunk of I mean, it's a big chunky boy, that guy.
Yeah.
But,
big hunk of plastic. And then Clint has a non-Mondo list.
Oh, look at that. All right. He's the Mega Motu. Okay, yeah, Mega stuff too. Mega Motu Wondar, Lexington from Gargoyles, 3D Joe's. Oh, the book from 3D Joe's, that huge, like 22 pound.
Oh my god, it's so big. You can't like sit like on your lap and just like look at it. It has to be like on a coffee table, and like it's just so massive that mine just sits on the coffee table.
It's a weapon.
That's a cool book.
Eternia playset for number 2, and this is probably the G.I. Joe Classified series quick kick. So
that is a great list, Clint. Very, very amazing list. Just scrolling through to see if there's any. Oh, here we go. Jason Fitz. My standouts of the year are obviously Eternia number 1, Orange Tiger, Glow in the Dark Swarm, Extendar, and many of the Turtles of Grayskull, which have an incredible sculpt to those. So that is awesome. Droid Commander, my number 1 announced this year was Mos Eisley.
Oh yeah, he was very excited about that Mos Eisley Cantina playset too, and I think he has some love for the HasLab Rattler too. So, but
nice.
Yeah, it's funny. He's getting a space built out in his backyard, so when it's done, he's gonna move all of his stuff in there, and I can't wait to see it live.
That is so cool. I know, it's like it's amazing that we have to like build out or like carve out these spaces in our homes for our toy collections. Texas Toy Addict, our friend here, has 5 is Mondo Man Bat, 4 is Road Pig, 3 is Gorilla. That is a honking piece of plastic I'm staring at right now. But he's super cool. Mondo Beastman and the Dragonfly. Great picks.
A lot of amazing lists. This is it's a great time of year to reflect, and I think this is around the time later in the month where people start taking off and spending time with their families for the holidays and things like that. So yeah, such a great time of year.
So much fun counting down our top 5. Because me and you have such love for vintage toys. When we came up with doing this list, I think because it's our list, we allowed ourselves the rules.
Yes.
And we said, you know what? We want to have fun. We want to make sure that this represents our love of toys. And I know everyone has their amazing top 5 countdown, but I'm glad we let ourselves go without any boxing ourselves into.
I like this.
Exactly what you had to do. And it's a lot of fun because sometimes people don't get to see these vintage toys.
No.
Right. And then hear the fun stories, because at the end of the day, it's about the nostalgia, it's about the memories that the toys bring back to us, and it's about the memories and experiences we all experience and create and have together as toy collectors, and making new friends, making friends with all of you in the chat. Sometimes we get to meet some of you guys at toy conventions and out toy hunting, and just every week here in the chat. So it's all about memories and what this thing means for our life. Because all this plastic, at the end of the day, it's about nostalgia and love we have for our childhood and things and experiences we have together. So it was great sharing this with you, Michael.
Yeah, no, this was a blast. I love doing this
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm glad that you took the guardrails off and were like anything goes. It's great.
Anything. The only guardrails we had is that we had to get it in 2024. That was it.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
All right. Well, this was a lot of fun. Looking forward to visiting you next weekend.
Yes.
And
Can't wait to see you.
I think are we going to be live next weekend or next Friday? We'll take a look at you can take a look at your calendar.
Oh yeah, no, I'm here. So yeah, we'll
Okay.
do it. Do it live.
We'll do that. And then we'll be taking off the next morning to come up and visit you guys. So we'll see all of you next Friday. And in the meantime, keep it tuned. ToyHabits.com, Toy Habits website on Instagram. And we'll see you guys next week. And happy holidays to everybody. Have some fun, spend time with family, do some toy hunting on your time off. And hope you guys get some awesome toys for the holidays, and just wishing everybody a very happy holiday season and sending a big hug to all of you, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So we do this for you.
Yes. Thank you all, and have a good weekend and have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everybody.